When these rappers get not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up. And
I ain't got nothing to do with what's in your mind and what you want to project. I just know your destruction makes money. You came to provide y'all destruction, and it's gonna benefit me and my family. Why would I turn you down? Do you turn down the pregnant drug addict who's trying to buy crack from you, brother?
Anti-Semitic shit. I'm a nigga. That's the real anti-Semitic shit that the Jewish people get paid off.
Most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention.
Everybody's still hyped over who dropped the dirtier diss, L.I.O. or Youngin, but Ace, Katt Williams, and Charleston White just came crashing in with a cold slap of truth. Katt's not sugarcoating a thing. He's calling out the whole rap game, saying all these beefs, bodies dropping, and chaos in the streets ain't some random streak of bad luck. According to him, the puppet masters up top, those record label shot callers, are playing chess with people's lives. They're hyping up the drama, making stacks while young artists burn out, get locked up, or end up in caskets. It's like these rappers are being fed straight to the wolves for someone else's payday. But Charleston White's adding his own twist. He's with Katt on the fact that these labels are banking off the destruction in black communities.
Same people who own the labels own the prisons. So,
literally the same people?
Literally the same people who own the labels own private prisons.
But he's not letting the rappers slide either. He's saying there's still accountability. No one's holding a gun to their head, making them spit about shootouts, homicides, and gang wars. That part, that's a choice. And Charleston's calling it out loud. Then Ice Cube jumps in, dropping more heat.
So they this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
Wow.
I'm saying there's the good side and the bad side of these businesses.
He's talking about the so-called rap to prison pipeline, where young black men get played like pawns. Labels know exactly what they're doing, and some folks even think they're getting paid off every time a rapper dies young. Just imagine how twisted that is. And Florida? Man, it's a battle zone right now. Just 2 weeks ago, Jacksonville rapper Foolio, then only 6 days later, bang, another tragedy. Darius Fizzle Biles, said to be tied to Young and Ace, was ended in Florida. And Fizzle wasn't just some random name. He was the brother of Malik Lily Biles, another Young associate, who got gunned down in 2020 at just 18 years old. This ain't just rap beef. It's becoming a non-stop death cycle. Just like everyone predicted, the bloodshed hasn't slowed. It's cranked up even more. Foolio's homicide didn't shake the streets one bit. Young rappers are still out here dropping like flies, sometimes by their own homies' hands over petty rap beefs that won't even matter a year from now. Let's keep it real.
When these rappers get not incidental, somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up.
None of these dudes are actually winning. Sure, one might cook up a diss track that blows up online, snag a little bag, maybe grab some clout from fans thirsty for drama. But at what price? Most of them are walking headfirst into a trap they can't escape. And just like Foolio, it's only a matter of time before they're either rotting in a cell or getting lowered into the ground.
So they $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
Wow.
I'm saying there's the good side and the bad side of these businesses.
So why keep running in the same circle? Even after seeing their brothers gunned down, their cousins doing life, and their own necks on the line, they still dive right back into it. Folks are starting to realize this goes way deeper than music. A lot of these young men are molded from childhood in places where street life is the blueprint, where being hard is sold as the only way to get respect. But here's the ugly truth.
Benefited. Yeah. So in all of these situations, there's a business involved and there's real money involved, and somebody's benefiting from this thing that looks like, oh, that just happened. Nah, no way.
It's all a setup. They're being sold a flashy dream, told this path leads to fame and fortune. In reality, they're being played like pawns in a dirty game where their lives are disposable and their deaths make somebody else rich. And the whispers ain't stopping. People say these labels are purposely hunting for artists who push drill and gang life because they already know what kind of chaos it brings, and they cash in on it. And here's the craziest part. Studies show that for over half of hip-hop artists, the #1 cause of death isn't accidents or health issues. It's straight-up homicide. No other music genre comes close. That's not an accident, it's by design. Katt Williams blasted it straight into the spotlight in one of his viral interviews. These young rapper deaths, he swears they're no accident. There's a deadly pattern hiding in plain sight. Katt ain't just tossing out wild opinions, he's dropping grenades. According to him, every single time a young rapper gets gunned down, somebody high up the ladder is stacking big money off it. The bodies hit the ground and the cash registers start ringing.
When you start digging into allegations of the CIA, the FBI, the Mossad having tentacles in the music industry, you wind up at total rumors like this. Former CIA agent admits agency created gangster rap to fill private prisons by glamorizing criminality. Claims like famous hip-hop lyrics of the legendary hip-hop outfit NWA were even scripted by a team of psychologists and war propagandists inside the CIA, according to this former agent. Obviously, these are just totally rumors and conspiracy theories, no truth to this whatsoever. But it leads you to people like Lear Cohen, who might be the most influential person in the last 100 years of music, because he ran Def Jam and made Jay-Z who he is, including Redman, Method Man, DMX, Ja Rule, Ludacris. But it doesn't stop with rap music. We got Bon Jovi, Mariah Carey, Shania Twain, Elvis Costello, Ashanti, Nickelback, Slipknot, Sum 41, The Killers, Slayer. But then we've also got his protege, Julie Greenwald, that got elevated through this merger that he brokered and managed the Black Keys, Bruno Mars, Death Cab for Cutie, Jason Mraz, Kid Rock, Lupe Fiasco, Wiz Khalifa. That would be this Julie Greenwald. And then we've got Lucian Grange, the CEO of Universal Music Group. He's the one that is directly implicated and named in this lawsuit. And so what you wind up with is a rap industry, a music industry that is full of people that are creating the types of music that the people above them, that the people that hire them, that the people that manage them want them to make. They're all terrified of stepping on the wrong toes or getting out of line or doing what they're not supposed to for one blackmail reason or the other. And we wind up with an entire industry full of musicians that are glorifying gangs and violence. And I mean, think about it. There's no better way to undermine an entire population, an entire race, an entire culture than to target their kids with subversive messages that they're going to think is cool. And the parents can't say about it because then the kids will just think it's cooler.
But Katt went even darker with it. He claimed that when a rapper gets sacrificed, it's usually someone from their own city pulling the trigger. That's not just dirty, that's ruthless. It's like a calculated power play, using the people closest to them as the weapon. That way, the heartbreak, chaos, and mistrust ripple through the entire neighborhood like poison.
Now listen, when you show up to my record label with your music, I ain't behind what you wrote.
The white man is for sure.
You wrote them before you got here.
And you just gave $1 million for it.
But you wrote it. But listen, listen, brother, I'm a businessman.
Right.
I ain't got nothing to do with what you wrote. You wrote the lyrics talking about your neighbor.
But you didn't tell me, no, this is what you're supposed to be writing. You said, I'm gonna give you $1 million
brother, but listen.
So you encouraged it.
No, I didn't.
With the utmost dollar amount.
No, I didn't. I'm a businessman and I'm about business. Because when you stop rapping this and I get a Nas X and he can rap gay, I'm gonna sign him too. And you showed up with these gay killer lyrics, brother. I ain't got nothing to do with what's in your mind and what you want to project. I just know your destruction makes money. You came to provide y'all destruction, and it's gonna benefit me and my family. Why would I turn you down? Do you turn down the pregnant who's trying to buy crack from you, brother? What about the girl who may look underage and selling? Do you turn her down? What about your homeboy's woman who's in a compromised state and when she come to you? Do you turn her down? So you want me to turn you down? And I can make trillions off your ignorance. The schools don't turn you away when your mother comes sign you up and register you. So why do you want me to turn you away? You want to be famous. You want to be a rapper. And the only way you can do this if you come to me. You're not bringing me nothing positive that I can promote to Disney. I can make you richer than you can ever be if you wrote me some Disney lyrics. Hey, if you just want to be like Nick Cannon, I can make you a star forever. But you want to be a star just for a small time, so you write gangster lyrics because you don't want to live long. You don't want to be like Nick Cannon. So you're not a Nick Cannon kind of guy. So you show up this gangster, you and all your gangster buddies from your hood, and you're blaming me because your mind wrote these lyrics. All of that hate that you're professing, I didn't whisper that in your ear. I didn't pick your mother and your father when they made it, and your dad left your mom, to go. I didn't have nothing to do with that, guy. Why are you blaming me as a white man? I didn't kick in your door and rob you and tie you up. I didn't kill your father. Why are you blaming me, the white man? I got a record label, brother. We just want to sell records to your people. And if we don't have these records to sell to your people, how will your people make music? Your people don't have record labels. How would they make music if it wasn't for us?
And Katt's warning is loud. Nothing in the entertainment game is what it looks like. That random tragedy you see on the news, he says it might have been mapped out long before it happened. Every fight, every scandal, every headline, he believes it's all part of a bigger machine. And guess what? Somebody somewhere is always cashing in on the carnage. Some folks brush this off as conspiracy talk, but Katt ain't standing alone. He's not the first to claim that labels control exactly what kind of music blows up. And when you start lining up the dots, the picture starts looking way too suspicious. Just think back to 2012. Corrections Corporation of America, one of the biggest names in the private prison game, slid offers to 48 states to buy their prisons. But here's the kicker. Those states had to promise a 20-year deal where the prison stayed 90% full. Now be real. How do you guarantee cells stay packed for 2 straight decades? That's not justice. That's a hustle. And when you mix that with music engineered to push violence, gang culture, and street chaos, man, it starts looking like one giant setup. So how would they actually keep those prison beds full? Brace yourself because this twist is wild. Just 2 months after that shady offer from CCA, whispers started swirling about an anonymous email bouncing around the music and PR world. And what it claimed? Straight up jaw-dropping. The email, allegedly from a former industry insider, told the story of a secret meeting way back in 1991. According to him, that meeting didn't just shift the music industry, it flipped the whole culture in America on its head. And not in a good way. He called it one of the darkest turning points in modern music history. The story went like this. The meeting opened with an industry rep giving a quick welcome. Then he passed the floor to a mysterious man. This guy gave only his first name, no last name, no background, no nothing. From the jump, it was shady. Then he dropped the bomb. Every company at that table had already sunk millions into privately owned prisons. But here's the kicker. They weren't just buying into prisons. They were buying into music, too. His pitch? They could use their pull in the music game to boost prison profits. At first, the email's author says he was totally lost. What do prisons have to do with rap? But then it clicked. These label executives, they were allegedly silent investors in the prison industry. And their plan, according to the email, was to pump out music that glorified violence, substances, and gang culture. Not for the sake of art, but because it would help fill those prison cells. If that's true, this wasn't just about selling records. It was about controlling the narrative, shaping the streets, and turning music into bait for a trap designed to catch young lives. And if this secret meeting really went down, that means the game's been rigged against the culture for decades. Once you realize these label execs had secret money tied up in private prisons, everything clicks. Of course, they'd want those cells packed and fast. But hold on, it gets even crazier. According to the email, the next step in their plan was clear. Flood the market with music that pushed crime, chaos, and self-destruction. And rap? That was the perfect weapon. The mystery man at that meeting allegedly told everyone this was a win-win. Rap was already blowing up, pulling in huge crowds and major sales, and now it could double as a money machine for their prison investments. But here's where it gets even more twisted. They told employees they could personally buy into the prisons too. That way, While young rappers and their fans were getting trapped in the system, these insiders were cashing checks from both the music and the prison beds it helped fill. The chilling part? Everyone at that table reportedly had to sign strict confidentiality agreements. The warning was clear. Talk about this to anyone, even someone in the room, and you'd regret it. They made sure everyone knew this went way beyond the music business, and it was nothing to play with. A few months later, the email's author said he saw the shift with his own eyes. The rap that used to tell stories, speak truth to power, or just be about good times, gone. In its place came an onslaught of hardcore gangsta rap, dominating the concerts. It was like the labels had flipped a switch, pumping out street-heavy artists like they were fresh off a factory belt. And everyone fell in line. The labels pushed it, the fans craved it, and the music turned into a non-stop loop of violence, substances, and chaos. What was once a voice for the people became a weapon for control, and a cash grab for the powerful. After that twisted meeting, the email's author said he was so shaken up, he walked away from the music game entirely, packed his bags, moved to Europe, and tried to disappear from the madness. But no matter how far he went, that meeting stuck with him, and it sparked a deep dive into how the U.S. prison hustle really works. What he uncovered blew his mind. Rap music wasn't just entertainment, it was being weaponized. It was shaping racial stereotypes, pushing young people towards street life, and leading them right into prison traps they never saw coming. The beats were hot, but the message was a setup. When that bombshell email leaked in 2012, it sent shockwaves. Even big outlets like Business Insider picked it up. But just as the story started catching fire, the main down, branding it fake, unverified, even calling it pure fiction. But a lot of folks weren't buying the nothing to see here routine. And now, looking at today's rap scene, that so-called conspiracy feels more like a mirror of reality. Whispers of secret industry power players pulling every string, deciding who gets signed, what type of music dominates, and which artists get blackballed are still shaking the culture. And more people than ever are starting to connect the dots. But here's where Charleston White jumps back in. Because while he agrees the labels are stacking money off violence and ignorance, he's not letting the artists off the hook. Charleston says plain and simple, every artist has a choice. Nobody's chaining them to those contracts. Nobody's forcing them to spit violent bars or glorify destruction. They sign the deal, they choose the lane, and they've got to live with the fallout. And fans? They're split down the middle. Katt is tearing into the system, exposing the machine behind the chaos. Charleston White's flipping it, putting heat on the artists themselves. Together, they're giving us the whole picture. Because, yeah, rappers make their own moves, but those moves are shaped by where they come from. The block they grew up on, the people they looked up to, the rules of survival they learned young. Sometimes it's not about chasing trouble. It's about thinking that trouble is the only way to make it out. So tell me, do you think the industry's rotten from the top down? Or are these artists just playing the cards life dealt them? Are the real villains the record labels and shady execs pulling the strings? Or should the spotlight be on the artists choosing to spit violent bars that feed this deadly cycle and lead to tragedies like Foolio's? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we want to hear it. And don't forget, subscribe and share this video if it opens your eyes. More heat is coming, and trust me, you don't want to miss the next one.